What Guenther Steiner and Oscar Piastri have revealed about McLaren and the FIA has sent a shockwave through the entire Formula One paddock, blowing open weeks of quiet tension and exposing a messy internal picture that McLaren can no longer hide. This isn't just a disagreement over a penalty. This is a crisis of loyalty, trust, and what happens when a team under pressure either protects its driver or leaves him standing alone. The FIA handed Oscar Piastri a 10-second penalty at the São Paulo Grand Prix for his opening corner clash with Kimi Antonelli. The paddock was split, but McLaren's reaction stunned everyone. The team didn't appeal, didn't question the ruling, didn't even show the slightest resistance in defense of their young championship contender. That silence has now exploded into a storm, and Guenther Steiner, known for never holding back, has publicly slammed McLaren for failing their own driver and letting a questionable FIA call pass without a fight. Steiner said McLaren's lack of pushback was unforgivable for a team claiming to be in a title battle. In his view, a team with championship ambitions cannot afford to be polished, diplomatic, and conflict-averse when the stakes are this high. Even if they couldn't overturn the penalty, he argued, McLaren needed to stand up to the stewards to show Piastri and everyone else that they believe in their driver. For Steiner, it's never just about winning an argument. It's about sending a message to the FIA, to fans, and to the entire organization that your team refuses to be walked over. His comment was blunt. If you don't fight for your own driver, what are you doing in Formula One? His criticism wasn't just a swipe at McLaren's leadership. It was a direct attack on what he believes is a culture losing its edge. Then came the bigger bombshell, Steiner's warning to Piastri himself. He suggested that if McLaren continues down this path, allowing FIA rulings and internal politics to dictate race outcomes, Piastri should consider walking away. According to Steiner, Oscar is too talented, too sharp, and too capable to waste his prime years in a team that won't go to battle for him. That statement has set off alarms across the paddock because, for the first time, someone has openly said what many insiders have whispered. McLaren's obsession with harmony and external image may be pushing away one of the brightest rising stars in the sport. Combine that with Piastri's growing frustration after months of questionable strategy calls, lost momentum, and moments where he felt secondary within the team, and it becomes clear that this story is only beginning. In this video, we're going deep into what Steiner and Piastri have actually said, the evidence behind McLaren's silence, and how this situation could lead to one of the biggest internal shakeups of the entire season. The fallout from Steiner's comments is massive because his criticism comes from someone who has lived the raw, emotional side of racing. His outburst was not just a dramatic rant. It was a reality check aimed at a team he believes has forgotten what true racing spirit means. When Piastri was hit with that controversial 10-second penalty, Steiner wasn't only reacting to the incident, he was reacting to what followed. McLaren's refusal to challenge the ruling shocked him. Even neutral figures like Charles Leclerc and Martin Brundle questioned the severity of the penalty. For Steiner, McLaren's silence was more damaging than the penalty itself. He made it clear that a genuine championship team cannot sit quietly while their driver shoulders the blame, especially when the evidence suggests the situation wasn't straightforward. In Steiner's eyes, McLaren revealed a lack of backbone that separates real racing teams from corporate giants. He said that if he were in charge, he would have marched straight into the steward's office, not necessarily expecting to win, but because the act of fighting matters. A leader shows the team they care by standing up when it counts. That defiance builds unity, trust, and belief. It tells mechanics, engineers, and the driver, we're in this together. But McLaren offered none of that. Steiner called it a psychological failure, a misstep that can ripple throughout an entire team. When a driver like Piastri sees his bosses refuse to fight for him, doubt creeps in. And for Piastri, that doubt has been building for months. His early season form showed flashes of brilliance, but ever since the controversial Monza team orders situation, where he was forced to give up position to Lando Norris despite outperforming him all weekend, the cracks have grown. He complied, but moments like that don't fade. According to Steiner, that was the first domino. And in Brazil, when McLaren again left him exposed, the message became unmistakably clear. When things go wrong, the team won't take your side. For a young driver, that destroys confidence faster than any on-track mistake. Steiner went further, comparing it to a boxer stepping into the ring alone while his coaches stay seated. His most explosive point was his belief that Piastri should think beyond McLaren if things don't change. He believes Oscar is too gifted to be stuck in the shadow of a teammate or in a team where management prioritizes corporate diplomacy over competitive fire. He said plainly that if Piastri doesn't win the title this season, or if the internal balance stays tilted toward Norris, he should look for another team. It wasn't gossip. It was a warning. In Formula One, loyalty only makes sense when the team earns it. Drivers have short peak years, and Steiner knows careers can vanish quickly if you stay loyal to the wrong garage. Behind the scenes, insiders believe Piastri is beginning to question how McLaren makes decisions. It's not about speed, it's about principle. The penalty in Brazil stung, but McLaren's refusal to protest cut deeper. Inaction like that poisons trust. Steiner believes that for a driver like Piastri, realizing your own team won't fight for you is worse than losing. It plants doubt that cannot be ignored. This criticism ties into a broader debate in Formula One, whether the sport is becoming too focused on corporate image instead of raw passion. McLaren, once famous for fierce rivalries and fearless competition, now appears too polished. Steiner argues their PR-driven structure is suffocating the fire that made them great. He's seen teams fall this way, too obsessed with control, reputation, and external approval to fight back when it matters. Meanwhile, Norris's recent surge only intensifies the internal imbalance. He's been flawless, winning multiple races, and his form has naturally shifted the team's priorities. McLaren says both drivers are equal, but insiders believe small differences, setup direction, strategy choices, pit priority, have subtly favored Norris. It's not malicious, but it changes the psychological dynamic. Piastri feels it, engineers feel it, and that tension quietly eats away at team atmosphere. Ironically, McLaren likely stayed silent about the penalty to avoid drama and look professional. But their silence has created the opposite effect, triggering massive criticism and risking the stability they seemingly tried to protect. Steiner's attack has turned the spotlight onto McLaren for all the wrong reasons. Fans who once admired their unity are now questioning whether they're too afraid to take risks or defend their own drivers. For Piastri, the final races of the season are more than a test of pace. They are a test of belief. He knows championship windows don't stay open forever. The real question now is whether McLaren becomes the team that fights for him or whether he needs to find one that will. Steiner's message was brutal. If they won't fight for you, then you must fight for yourself. That line may shape Piastri's off-season more than any result on track. McLaren has not publicly responded to Steiner's explosive comments. But in Formula One, silence speaks loudly. The longer they wait, the more people assume Steiner is right. And once that perception takes hold, it's nearly impossible to reverse. As the season approaches its final rounds, McLaren's title hopes remain alive on paper, but weakened emotionally. Steiner has peeled back the corporate polish, revealing insecurity, hesitation, and a weakening identity. And if Piastri is truly considering his future, it won't be because he's giving up. It will be because he's learned one hard truth. Talent means nothing without a team willing to fight for you. This story is no longer just about a penalty or points. It's about loyalty, courage, leadership, and how one decision in Brazil may reshape McLaren's supposed golden era.